The president openly celebrated violence against a reporter as Saudi Arabia lied about the death of a journalist. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. Tonight, President Trump traveled to Texas to campaign for his former nemesis, Senator Ted Cruz. Trump, of course, famously called him Lion Ted during the 2016 campaign, but on his way to Texas, he was asked by reporters if he still felt that way, and he gave Cruz a new nickname.
Is he no longer Lion Ted?
To me, he's not Lion Ted anymore.
What is he now?
Beautiful Ted.
No, you can call Ted Cruz a lot of things, but beautiful is not one of them. Ted Cruz once took a picture with a butter cow, and the only thing that looked like it was melting was Ted Cruz. Trump is pulling out all the stops for the midterms to try to avoid the impending blue wave, and the reason these midterms feel so tense is that right now millions of Americans feel their democracy isn't working. Republicans are illegally purging voters in gerrymandering districts. 4 justices on the Supreme Court have now been appointed by 2 presidents who lost the popular vote, and the most recent nominee was confirmed by a Senate majority that actually represents fewer Americans than in the Senate minority. What we now have is a system that does the opposite of what the people want. It's like if Lay's let everybody vote on a new potato chip flavor, and a month later they announced that the winner was fried liver and cilantro. You'd be like, I think something might be wrong with the voting system. People are angry that a minority faction is ruling the country and ignoring what most people want, and they've expressed that anger in various ways, like confronting politicians in public or protesting in the Capitol. And Republicans have responded to that fury by calling their own constituents paid protesters and claiming the left is practicing mob violence.
When you have nothing to run on over the last 2 years, then you turn to something that is popular among the liberal mob on the left, right? Violence.
We will not be bullied by the screams of paid protesters and name-calling by the mob.
The far-left mob is not letting up.
You don't hand matches to an arsonist, and you don't give power to an angry left-wing mob, and that's what they've become. The choice could not be more clear. Democrats produce mobs. Republicans produce jobs.
First of all, when Trump finds a rhyme like mobs and jobs, that's his Gettysburg Address. I mean, that's really... You know he was up all night trying to crack that one. Democrats produce mobs. Republicans produce fobs. Bobs, knobs. Oh, jobs. Second, you're accusing Democrats of acting like a mob because I can only remember one mob in recent history, and I'm positive they weren't Democrats. Democrats only use tiki torches to keep mosquitoes away from their vegan barbecues. You guys are the ones who run the government like a protection racket. Republicans all look like they should be cracking their knuckles in a butcher shop telling the owner, nice place you got here. Would be a shame if something happened to it. If you took any photo of Trump's aides and added Clemenza from The Godfather, no one would notice. They'd notice the hat. And then on Friday, Trump posted yet another one of his weird Rose Garden Twitter videos where he again claimed Democrats were an angry mob.
The Democrats don't like being called an angry mob, but really, that's what they've become. They've gone so far left, they can't even believe that they're over there. They don't know what's going on. They're losing it, and they shouldn't be.
They're losing it. You look like you just wandered out of those bushes and made a stranger point a camera at you. It looks like a Bigfoot video where Bigfoot decided to try his hand at public speaking. Me, Bigfoot. Bigfoot friend. Bigfoot friend. Don't chase Bigfoot. So Republicans are accusing the left of acting like a violent mob. Meanwhile, there are Republicans who are literally violent, like Montana Congressman Greg Gianforte, who pled guilty to physically assaulting a reporter last year when that reporter tried to ask Gianforte a question about health care. And in case you forgot what that sounded like, here's the audio.
You were waiting to make your decision about health care until you saw the bill and it just came out. And what you
and
thought
we'll
about
talk to you about that later.
Yeah, but there's not going to be time. I'm just curious if you have the
Okay, speak
right
with
now.
Shane, please.
But you don't.
The last time that came in here, you did the same thing. Get the hell out of here.
Man, it is amazing how often Republicans get caught doing things on tape. I mean, a congressman was taped body slamming a reporter, Trump was taped discussing a payment to cover up an affair, and Stephen Miller was taped eating his lunch in the White House basement.
Okay, Stephen, time for your feeding.
So last week, Trump, the law and order president, went to Montana to campaign for violent criminal Greg Gianforte, and he made it clear that he is totally against political violence of any kind, unless it's a sick wrestling move, in which case he thinks it's awesome.
Greg is smart. And by the way, never wrestle him. You understand that? Never. Any guy that can do a body slam, he's my kind of... He's my guy.
So Trump says a congressman who body slammed a reporter is his kind of guy. And let's not forget, Trump also told his supporters to knock the crap out of protesters and promised to pay their legal fees if they did. He's an actual crime boss. I mean, look at him. He sweats like he's being dangled off the side of a roof by Batman. Trump is the classic fake tough guy from Queens. If he weren't president, he'd be the guy sitting on a park bench in Flushing Meadows saying, "Who you looking at?" to the squirrels. But Trump's praise for Gianforte is especially gross after the murder of Washington Post columnist and U.S. resident Jamal Khashoggi, who disappeared after walking into the Saudi consulate in Istanbul 3 weeks ago. And yet on Friday, after a series of lies and a sham investigation, the Saudis released a truly absurd account of Khashoggi's death.
Saudi Arabia now publicly confirming that the Saudi journalist and Washington Post contributor Jamal Khashoggi is dead. In a middle-of-the-night announcement, officials in Riyadh said he died as a result of a physical altercation inside the Saudi consulate.
State prosecutors say the Saudi writer, last seen walking into the consulate to get papers for his upcoming wedding, got into a fist fight inside that led to his death.
That's insane. They're claiming he got into a fist fight while he was trying to get paperwork for his wedding. The only time anyone has gotten into a fist fight over a wedding is on MTV's True Life, I'm Getting Married.
Do you have any clue who you're talking to right now? Besides the fact that it's my wedding, I'll cut you the up. I will gut you like the piece of that you are. Do you understand? Don't you dare come off to me like that on my wedding, because I'll hunt you down like cattle and I'll gut you.
Our show will never be as good as that show. It would. I mean, I'd love to see him renting that tuxedo. I need a lot of room in my arms for angry walking. There's so many reasons not to believe this obvious lie. Multiple suspects have direct links to the Crown Prince. Even Republicans in Congress who are fierce allies of Trump have called this explanation absurd. No one, and I mean no one, is dumb enough to believe the Saudi explanation.
U.S. President Trump says he believes the Saudi explanation, calling it a good first step.
That's right. Trump said the Saudi explanation was credible. Now, because he won't release his tax returns, we don't know exactly what Trump's personal financial ties are to Saudi Arabia. Last week, Trump tweeted, "I have no financial interest in Saudi Arabia." So you could believe Trump when he says he has no financial interest in Saudi Arabia, or you could take it from this guy.
I love the Saudis. Many are in this building. Saudi Arabia, and I get along great with all of them. They buy apartments from me. They spend $40 million, $50 million. Am I supposed to dislike them? I like them very much.
They give me money so I like them is the literal definition of a bribe. Trump can be so disorienting sometimes because he just spells out in plain language why he's corrupt. He's like a guy who robbed a bank telling the cops, "I pointed a gun at the teller, so he gave me the cash. What am I supposed to do, not take it?" So while pundits and Republicans whine about civility, the president was celebrating violence against a reporter and standing by the Saudis. It's a protection racket. If you pay them off, they'll protect you. There's even a word for that. It's called
The mob.
This has been A Closer Look.